dedicated Mermail player that just keeps on doing really, really well with it. And he goes first, but he will have to face that Fuvalos. And on the other side, we have the Memento deck, also making it all the way into top 4 in Bologna, of course, and still a viable deck to play here with the Fiendsmith cards.
The immediate Fuvalos is interesting to me. But normal summon Prince is, of course, a good start. And I think that, of course, Mermail players will have a plan what to do against a Fuvalos that has been resolved. And now he didn't even chain it to an effect that summons from deck or something that summons from the extra deck. So I think that Manuel has another way or more information to play around this card. Can you actually, without using your extra deck or your deck to summon, because many of these cards summon themselves from hand, can you go into Mullen Glacier and diminish the hand of Pasha?
I feel like there is a way, yeah. If you just get to enough Teos and potentially even a Megalo, I can definitely see them getting enough cards into the graveyard. I mean, also just giving one draw totally is not bad.
Yeah.
Ministrel on the other end also would get 2 cards on the same time into the graveyard as well, and therefore there is plenty of options, I think.
True, yeah.
And it's rather uncommon that you see the Fuvalos in the draw phase. You do see Peruli in the draw phase super often because you want to get value out of that normal summon that usually players are starting with. But seeing Fuvalos in the draw phase is a little more unconventional. It's still pretty good though because it does, of course, play around triple tactic talents.
Yeah.
It does, on the other end, though, give perfect information to Manuel with it being resolved already. And there we see now Ministrel. Let's have a look together. What is Pasha cooking? Does Pasha even want to reveal his hand?
Check
he
this
does.
out.
Okay.
Oh, it's a droplet, which is going to be very information. Goblin and 2 Bone Party is not the strongest hand I've ever seen.
That's true.
So, I mean, Ministrel is not going to take anything of value here because it's just going to be returned later on in the turn. However, you know that Mullen Glacier is probably going to be very important here. If you... Okay, that is interesting because I thought if you go for Mullen Glacier, you want to hit the droplet.
To be honest, no. You prefer to hit the engine at this point, actually.
Yeah, maybe you do. That's true. Like, the less cards your opponent has, the less valuable is the droplet too, right? Because you do need cards to get rid of with the Memento and Bone Party. And Bone Party, of course, only really works if you have a monster to go alongside with it. And therefore, if you just get rid of then the 1 goblin that they have, it may become problematic. But here we go. This is some Supreme Darkness support hitting the field. We do have Poseidra, the Storming Atlantean, and that is a card that plays through Fuvalos very, very well too. But I think, yep, that is going to be the first Link summon, making it 5 water monsters in the graveyard after the monster that we summon here.
Not click summon, it's the effect of Abyss Rain.
Oh, even better! Look at that. I think Pasha is just checking whether you can tribute monsters from the field with Abyss Rain, but of course you can. Reading it there real quick, that's his good right.
Reading both, actually. the card and the translation in Neuron. And this is looking good for Manuel. Has he already gotten the Mullen Glacier, or is he going to search that one now with Dragoons?
He may as well. Well, look, he's counting it out to his opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Just like back in the day with Dark Arm Dragon.
Yep. Giving his opponent maybe a little bit of a hint there what card is going to be next.
Well, this is a full-on hand loop almost. We're down to 2 cards in hand. 1 card will get back there later, but still, I mean, the thing is, what do you set up though?
We do have the Rhine in the graveyard already, which is pretty good. Okay, we just go.
We have Glacier already?
Teos.
No, Dragoon will activate now.
Alright.
Abyss Rain can either a special summon or add 11/7.
Oh, but we do search infantry. Look at that. So maybe it is already there. Do we have the Mullen Glacier? We are going to see Manuel.
Yep.
Of course we do. Mullen Glacier saying, hey, I want to get rid of 2 cards in your hand. And let's see which ones are going to be going back into the deck here.
So Bone Party has a graveyard effect, but that one is not really that strong. It just gives one of the Memento monster piercing damage when it attacks.
Oh yeah, what am I saying? It's not going to the deck, but into the graveyard.
Yeah.
So...
And
the
it
Goblin
is
gone too. I mean, it wasn't really even that important to hit the Goblin there, right?
Yeah.
Because Goblin on its own is also not that impressive.
Yeah, but I mean now Bone Party has not a valid target to be activated.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the thing is, if you find one now, that could be potentially more problematic.
Yeah.
That because Bone Party is a really, really strong card, and then you have something to interact with the heavy infantry as well.
Oh my. There is infantry, there is, I think, toys, but we were just clarifying what we searched out there.
I think this might be a pass here, actually. We set up the pop with the infantry. Droplet gets back here. Droplet does nothing. Pasha has a chance here to get rid of the Mooling Glacier.
And I think it's
maybe
Ash
get another
Blossom.
turn?
We definitely did draw a monster, and it is Ash Blossom and Joy Spring
this
indeed.
is so bad. Wait, but Bone Party can pop Ash Blossom, no?
No,
Nope.
only Memento monsters.
Yeah, Pasha sets the card, and Manuel knows
Yeah.
that was a good turn that he did there because Pasha not able to play the game at all anymore, and it is going back to Manuel, who still is, of course, going to use the effect here of his Abyss Rhine, discarding Shadow Squad, so he does not even have to give up on the infantry, drawing a card, Shadow Squad activating, and Pasha, yeah, he's nodding his head, but he knows the water, the flood is coming here. Okay, we're ashing the
it's
Shadow
not.
Squad, but sure, we already have so many things here. Very important, the Mooling Glacier stays on the field, meaning we do have our battle phase here as well.
Also, Toys is still in hand, and you can summon that by discarding infantry, which is not the best discard in this situation, but it is a discard, and you get to search a monster as well. And now we are already threatening. Oh, there is the Neptibus discard as well, and Neptibus also triggers when it is being sent to the graveyard for a card effect as cost summons back Dragoons if you want to. This is the easiest way to go into Pasha's side. Is he going to find a way to go for a full combo? Because the last set, oh yeah, that's looking good.
Ooh, that's a pretty good starter, not gonna lie. But guess what? If we just chain Perulia to it, it might be tough, but there is none like that. And we do have the good old Nementoten Tatsuno Chiyogo resolving. And that is going to mean we can send Memento monsters from the deck to the graveyard up to the total level of 5. And there we go. We're just going to go with a level 2 and a level 3, meaning Sleepy, and also, of course, the good or reliable Mementoten Getic, which we luckily did not draw this time, are going into the graveyard.
I mean, the last time we didn't draw Gaddick as well. We drew Goblin.
Yeah, true.
But still, there are quite some cards that you don't want to necessarily draw.
Yeah, and I think like the Getic somehow always finds its way into the hand. I can tell you from my personal experience. But here in this case, it is doing what it's supposed to do, special summoning itself out right away, and then also, of course, adding us back to Sleepy. And the important part here was we were not even scared of a Bestial, because we could do that while our while we didn't even have a monster on the field. So that was a fantastic start. We do go now for the fusion with the Sleepy, using 3 of our monsters right away to go into the Creation King, the Mementoten Tekutlika. And this one now, of course, is going to send 3 Memento cards from deck or extra deck to the graveyard, meaning we can send another copy of itself, and also, of course, all the cards from the deck that we want. Okay, Akihiron, Tekutlika does not look like we're going into the extra deck here.
I mean, are there really any good extra deck targets that you want to send to the graveyard?
Itself.
necessarily?
You can send itself, and that searches you with field spell, which ain't that
that's
bad.
good, yeah.
But, I mean, you can also just get rid of the card on the field and then later on use its graveyard effect. But, yeah, we're just sending from the deck here, going with the main deck Tekutlika, with a mace. Oh, and that means we have 3 different Memento monsters in the graveyard, giving us the opportunity and ability to summon out the good old and also very reliable Horned Dragon. And look at that! We know that stuff. Oh yeah, that's the wrong Horned Dragon, but he does definitely look the same. And we do go for Fiendsmith Requiem after summoning Moon of the Closed Heaven. And now that is going to mean Lacrima onto the field. So this is not just regular Memento. It does include a decently big Fiendsmith engine into it. And there we see the Engraver coming back.
I mean, the Fiendsmith engine, I think at this point it's just everyone's best friend, right? This engine just fixes so many problems for almost all of the rogue decks. Or
Also,
the meta decks as well.
Caesar is a very good card against Mermail.
It is, and that is going to be the one we summon here. We summon it in defense position. I mean, it's more like a diagonal defense position there. But, yeah, very scared of cards like Lightning Storm, apparently. And now, the thing with Caesar, though, is just a singular Abyss Pike discard heavy infantry already deals with it, so...
But I mean, infantry is not like the most common draw.
True. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we activate the field spell now. Okay, we search it out. There we see the Creation King being banished, getting it out. And now we, of course, have plenty of Memento monsters in the graveyard. And also, we did destroy a Memento monster on the field. Therefore, Mementoten Fusion gives us the chance to fusion summon using monsters from our graveyard, which we are gladly doing by using Mace and Golden, the 2 level 2s of the deck, to go into another one of the also famous Mementoten Twin Dragon. Leo, you want to bring up that old card again, or are we just going to stick with the new ones now?
Actually, this is referring to Thunder Twin Dragon, right?
Indeed it is.
Very cool card.
So we do use the on-field effect, destroying itself. So that is going to search for 2 Memento monsters now, but also the graveyard effect of the Twin Dragon is going to activate, giving us the chance to special summon back a Memento monster from the graveyard. And if we like, we can then use the effect of the field spell because something was destroyed. And if we then like, Akihiron is also sitting in the graveyard, giving us the opportunity to summon something back with that as well. So if we want, we got 3 monsters here just by resolving that 1 fusion effect.
All right, Basi, I know you're getting all excited about those Memento cards, but what is the actual goal that the deck needs to reach?
I mean, we already have the King Caesar on the field, which is a good start, not gonna lie. Then, interestingly enough, with the Fiendsmith sequence, very often you're actually not going for the regular target, which would be Desiree, but you go for Baphomet, the mythical king of Phantom Beasts instead, which is a way then in the graveyard, which it is going to end up in at some point, to bring back the Mementotlian Tekutlika Creation King, which is banished currently, back to the field. So that gives you like different layers of interacting with your opponent. You could also go for a Nightmare Griffin line, but I don't think we're seeing that here from Pasha. We're rather setting up bringing back the Creation King on your opponent's turn. But first of all, we do go here for the Angwitch. Angwitch adds another card.
But I mean, how do we go into sequence now?
Using a Light Fiend eventually, but yeah, I see what you mean, because there is no real Light Fiend at the moment anymore.
Do we go Moon?
We did go through Moon already, though.
I mean, yeah, true.
So maybe we disregard that option completely here. There's a chance. Okay,
At this point,
Pasha is thinking about it, but...
yes. Considering his options.
Yeah, but the cool thing about the Memento deck always was that it does a lot of things. As you can clearly tell, many monsters being summoned. And then still in the end, it's a very interactive end field. Oh, Proxy F Magician. Look at that. We're going to bring out the Baphomet. Okay, so we don't even use sequence for it. So this is the combo, which is also pretty fine. Now we're going to bring out the Goblin for the effect of Proxy. And there is... okay, oh, we can just send Engraver to the graveyard. Fair enough, fair enough. Usually, at least what I did a lot, was that I would be bringing in Dire Bells from my side deck when I go first, because that's a really decent target to send to the graveyard with that card that we just saw with the Baphomet. But no, we just go into the sequence now afterwards. So we do want to have the Baphomet in the graveyard, but also the other fusion target, the Desiree, now on the field.
This just makes it a lot better.
Yeah,
I like this.
I really love the fact that Pasha goes all through with his combo, so it's such a nice combo.
Yeah, it's a really cool combo.
I really
strong field.
Now we go into Agnum Day now as well.
As a true Memento enjoyer, though, one thing I'm missing here is, where is my SP? Because usually SP Little Knight is the card you're going for. Like, some people are even joking about Memento basically being a machine that turns 2 monsters into SP pass, but no,
I mean,
we're not seeing it here.
Basti, I was gonna ask where are the Memento cards, because this just looks like a very regular Fiendsmith field.
Yeah, we can set back the Bone Party in the end phase, though, with the field spell, so that gives us the chance to, for example, go into another one of our Fiendsmith, of our Memento monsters in the end phase. But we can also, of course, use the... oh! Wait, we're destroying our own Desiree there, are we?
We're just not stopping on Pasha's side.
He's searching?
Pasha just has plans here.
Yeah, but we just made our field to now start
I think
taking it apart again.
is in the grave, right?
Yeah, Lacrima. Okay, oh yeah, true. Very good catch, actually. The Lacrima actually is really, really good in the graveyard, as it gives us a chance to then just bring out the Agnum Day on our opponent's turn, and then everything starts rolling again. So it actually makes sense to get rid of it there.
And also, fun fact, both decks want 5 names in the graveyard.
Yeah, true. Yeah, indeed. Mulan Glacier and the combined creation similar in that regard. Now we go ahead, destroy the Horned Dragon for the Bone Party.
At this point, I don't even know if Pasha just has a goal anymore, but if he just wants to play a little bit more. He just wants to show off every single card that
No,
he's
he
in his deck
knows
list.
what he's doing.
I'm very well aware. I'm very sure he does know what
Yeah,
he's
he has a Lacrima in his grave.
doing. Yeah.
All right, now Sleepy. I don't think the
field
Sleepy
again.
matters too much, but it does. Oh, okay, we're just bringing
Goblin
out
Pikers.
more and more monsters. I think we're filling the graveyard just simply with more Memento cards. Good thing, of course, about the combined creation that's still there on the field, or was on the field there a minute ago. Oh, there is the Aspidal Knight, of course! I was
Finally.
wondering where it is, and we do get it, and therefore, one thing that people are disregarding, the combined creation can be summoned as many times as you can, and sometimes, or like usually actually, you struggle to do it 2 times. Of course, that means you have to shuffle back 5 Memento monsters from the graveyard twice, in total being 10 of them. But Pasha showed us how easily that is possible, therefore we still end up with it on the field. Now heading into the end phase, setting back the Bone Party and passing it over to Manuel.
Combined creation very easily on the opponent's turn summons out your Memento monsters, which can get you the Horned Dragon as well, which is going to be able to pop monsters from the opposing side.
Yes, the only question though is to me here, we shuffled back 5 there. Is there even another Memento monster in the graveyard? Look, oh, Manuel's having a look.
There is
yes,
the Horned Dragon.
Okay, the Horned Dragon is still there. So we shuffled everything but the Horned Dragon back, which is nice because the Horned Dragon, especially together with the Bone Party that now is set, is a really good interruption actually. And so whenever Manuel is activating a card on the resolution of things, the combined creation can activate and bring back the Horned Dragon.
This is so many resources as well there. Going to bring back the Desiree later. Has the oh, this is just everything.
Yeah, it's really, really good, not gonna lie.
This is the fullest combo, the most complete Memento combo I've ever seen in my entire life.
Look, Pasha even takes off the hood after performing that combo, so he is he's showing off now, not only on the field but also in the face cam. But there is the Infinite Impermanence on the Caesar, which does trade really, really well with it right away.
It is a good start and also a sign of patience from Manuel to show, hey, I don't throw my hand traps just easily at everything. I am just going to wait and use these to break the field, because this is what Mermail was known for before Neptunus was released. Basically, it was almost a going second deck where you set up powerful one-turn win combinations of cards. Abyss Megalo, of course, the most prominent example, being able to attack twice.
Oh, but Manuel is shaking his head. Okay, he's activating Minister, discarding Dragoons. That's not that bad of a start, honestly. Also interesting to note that Pasha decided not to use the effect of his... Oh, okay, now he's using it, though.
All right.
Wait, that... We're banishing the mace from the hands. Which effect are we using here?
Minstrel.
Oh, okay, they just resolved the Minstrel. Okay, yeah, I was wondering, because you cannot chain the creation, but it will be activating on the new chain. So I think Pasha was just a little too quick by pointing on his creation there, but it will be activating after the Minstrel is resolved, which now is the case. But I think now we're going to go Chainlink 1 Dragoons, and then Chainlink 2 possibly that creation.
But this is still, I mean, Manuel has quite some plays here, but this is going to be so tough to play through, because this is what we call layered interruptions as well. There is the SP on the field. There is going to be the Horned Dragon that is in the graveyard sitting there, going to be able to destroy cards later on in the turn. There is the Baphomet in the graveyard that is going to summon out. And Lacrima, of course, to summon Agnum Day, to summon out the Desiree, to negate multiple cards. Now Abyss Shrine is going to be activated, discarding the Shadow Squad. This is very, very strong, though. But, I mean, we haven't normal summoned yet. Manuel might still be in this.
Yeah, and I mean, Manuel does not give up yet. I think Manuel knows this deck perfectly well. He made top cut with it in Bologna, so I believe he would know when he has to give up on a game, but he has not given up on this game just yet. So, now look at that. Also noteworthy, a card that Memento players do like to bring in post-side decking is the trap card. But we do not see the Fracture Dance, nor we see the other trap cards, so Pasha just going completely without those trap cards in his Memento deck. So, Shadow Squad. I think we're just clarifying on Chainlinks here.
Poseidra is a card that is incredibly strong to play through fields. Nice addition from the newest set, because you can actually send a card from the deck as cost to the graveyard, which is super powerful for the Mermail and Atlantean strategies, and then you get a bounce for it. So this is just basically just positive.
Yes, it is
absolutely positive. Helps you fix some issues that the deck had recently. That was this being a going first bot deck, basically. Just having issues to play through fields without the perfect breaker cards in hand, but now the engine is going to be much better.
It is indeed. So we do send the Dragoon to the graveyard now on a new chain. Finally, Pasha gets the allowance to activate his effect on the field, to activate his, of course, creation. And it is going to bring back the Horned Dragon as we anticipated. But after that, it's gone. Back to the hand it is. And now that makes things actually a lot tougher, because that means now if we use the Bone Party on the Horned Dragon, Okay, we're bringing out another Memento Monster for that, because I was about to say there is no Memento Monster we can destroy anymore with the Horn Dragon, but then there is going to be one replacing it, so I think Pasha should still be fine with this.
Yep, there's also still so many other things to happen. We said it earlier, Baphomet, the SP Little Knight, and of course Agnum Day summoned out from Lacrima.
Okay, having a little read again on the Poseidra. One of the new important releases in Supreme Darkness, supporting the Mermail strategy. And yeah, I expected this deck to be picking up more pace even. It was very paceful before, but it has even more pace now. But it's putting in more work than I even expected it, because Mermail is going super, super strong. Look at that. Pasha's hood is back on. He's scared. And he activates the Bone Party here, and it's successfully going to destroy the Horn Dragon here.
And hood is back off.
Goes for a Sleepy. The Horn Dragon is going to pop 2 monsters. Manuel possibly waiting that, searched out with the Dragoons another Neptibus already, because he knew I did not normal summon yet. So Manuel is picking apart the field. Yeah, he's taking out some interruptions, but there's still so much to go through for Pasha.
Yep, Sleepy activated because it was destroyed, and therefore it could send another card from the deck to the graveyard, which turned out to be the Gaddick. Gaddick immediately summoned itself out and got the Sleepy back into the hand. And now Sleepy used its graveyard effect, but guess what? Sleepy is a quick effect, meaning we could special summon it out now at any time in the main phase on our opponent's turn, and then on its summon, fusion summon with it. So that's another bit of interaction that Pasha has just created there.
Yep, so this deck is just not stopping to put up interruptions on the opposing turn. That we're using the Baphomet Combined King, and we are picking up the card. Is he just passing, or is he just going to normal summon Neptibus now, like a Mermail Pro? Meowth is being activated.
Okay, we were debating about this card being good or not, but it has found its way into the main deck of Pasha.
There are some summons from the graveyard.
Yeah, Prince.
Yeah.
Oh, Manuel does not like what he sees.
The King Neptibus. Corel Anemone.
Anemone, yes.
True, yeah.
Yeah, so there are some draws with this card, I can see that, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Pasha just doesn't have that much against the deck in general, so he just may as well bring in the one option that does make sense.
Choice.
Okay, we have to discard Poseidra, making the Meows apparently a little bit more viable, because that card would need to special summon itself out from the graveyard, of course. All right, but we do get the result of the Teosir. What are we going to get? Manuel is contemplating. He really, either he's very good at acting, or he's really unhappy about his hand here. Because look at that, he just keeps on looking into his cards in hand, and he just is shaking his head. If he's full comboing now, he really is the best actor out here.
He doesn't really have a poker face here in this situation, I gotta be honest, on this.
I think the problem might be that he really literally loses to one hand up. If
possibly, yeah.
I can understand correctly from the way that he's comboing.
So Ryan is being activated here, sending the toys from the field or distributing it. We go into the super deep sea king Quelicant.
Oh, fish players, of course, know this card. I'm playing this card in Time Wizard 2010, but it's also, of course, a big part of this Mermail deck here. And the fact is so strong, as now, for the price of one card in hand, we'll be able to special summon as many fish monsters from the deck as possible.
You sold this quite nicely, Basti, but this card, yes, you might lose to one hand trip if you play this card. If your opponent doesn't have one hand trip, looks like you are in a decent spot there. Discard the triple tactic talons. Meowth did a good job of
it does resolve. Look
this.
at that. That's so strong.
Big. And now he's not shaking his head anymore, huh?
Yep. 1 pike, 2 pike. How about 3 pike? We have a pike party, and all of them are coming to the field through the Coalicant. The whole fish family reunited on the field here.
The pike party.
Yeah.
I like this. It's opposed to the bone party.
Yeah, exactly. Different approaches to the party theme here. But I think both of them equally nice. I would attend both, to be honest.
but where are we going from this? So I think Bahamut Shark into Totally Awesome is a very decent choice here. Always. You want to avoid giving off multiple Meowl's draws. So afterwards, I think you would just link into a Corral Anemone with probably the Coalicant and the the Bahamut Shark that you used. and then you would summon back another Pike, and you could go for another Bahamut Shark, summon out 2 totally awesome. That would give 1 draw, though?
I don't think that...
We can go into Abyss Dweller as well, though.
Oh,
and I mean,
that's a good
actually,
point,
Manuel has a plentitude of different rank 4 options, because we had Sharks earlier. Guess what? Manuel is a big enjoyer of the number 4 Stealth Kraken as well, which usually is only played in those Shark decks, but that could have been an option here as well. And I feel like Manuel is just going for 0 draws of the Meows, because this is Mermail, Abyss, Alacia, which he's summoning out here. And he's explaining it to his opponent. I think that's like a decent-ish interaction on your opponent's turn, as far as I'm aware.
Basically, you want to synergize it with...
Infantry.
Yeah, infantry. So you can have a pop in your opponent's turn.
Yeah, explain what it does again.
It just discards a water monster for cost, and then you search for a Mermail card
Fair enough.
from your deck to your hand. If you don't have an infantry for discard, the card gets, of course, less interactive with your opponent, but builds up more resources. But I think this is also a very solid choice here if you go for Abyss Dweller to buy a turn, basically, quote-unquote.
Right.
You want to build up more resources, so I like this play a lot.
And actually, he still has the Abyss Shrine in the graveyard. So he can search Mermail, then trigger Abyss Shrine in order to trigger the Mermail that he already added.
That is true, and it's very important that Abyss Alacia is discarding for a cost. So even a potential Forbidden Droplet would not stop that part about it, but the Forbidden Droplet could deal with the Abyss Dweller, of course. So let's see, is there a Forbidden Droplet for Pasha? And how is he going to start off? Because this field is, for Mermail standards, rather minimalistic, let's face it.
So Manuel has not announced the Abyss Dweller yet, which I find quite interesting. Is there a way for him to resolve it in a safer manner, or is he just trying to respond to something with the Abyss Dweller? I mean, if your opponent only has triple tactic cards in his hand, then you don't want to just activate Dweller.
Then you just activate it in the draw phase, right?
I mean, Thrust is still a good
Oh,
card
yeah,
then.
true. Very much.
To be...
Ooh, starting with Bone Party is not necessarily what you want to start with, because usually you... Oh, and we revealed... Oh, we all saw it. Sorry, Pasha, but I think Manuel saw that one as well. Giving away the information that there is a Fabled Lurry in hand.
I think through the Bone Party you would always change Dweller, no?
And to be honest, I think that Manuel plays with the logic that Pasha doesn't have talent in his deck, because talent and Thrust are not very good against Mermail going second. So probably Pasha has sided out.
I mean, they're better than nothing.
Yeah,
so I think that's the thing. I would leave them in the deck if I...
Just in case?
Yeah, just in case. If I don't find anything better to side in.
I mean, we even brought in Molshami Meowls, which I definitely can get behind the logic of Mike saying, hey, Meowls is probably better than just the talent, which is never going to break the field because it's not going to be in my hand anymore after Mulling Dacia resolving. But we do see Akihiron being destroyed off of the Bone Party. Another card you do not necessarily want to see in your opening hand, but still we're getting it out of there with the Bone Party. And now in the graveyard, it's much more useful again. So Pashar starts going. Not much use though when the Abyss Dweller is resolved on it though.
I'm gonna tell you something. I think I saw something in the hand of Pasha and it looked like a triple tactics talent.
There you go. You knew it all the way, Leo. Did we activated the Dweller at this point, didn't we?
Yeah, and we changed it to the Bone Party, so I think it might have been in the main phase, because what would be the reason for Pasha not to just go into the main phase?
Agreed.
Especially with a talent.
Yeah,
in his hand.
exactly. So I think this might be bad news for Manuel soon. But can Pasha under Dweller win the game this turn? That's a whole different question, because if Manuel is able to build up some resources and Pasha might not be able to build up the biggest field, this could still be a nice... we're shaking our head again on the Manuel side as well.
That's true. And I mean, one thing also very worth considering here is we're going towards 9 minutes being left on the clock, which is not a whole lot. So this turn, possibly, potentially, the last turn of the game even. So maybe Pasha's priority also has to be here to deal some damage, which is not even that hard over that Abyss Alacia, which is only 1,600 attack points, to be honest.
Yeah, but duel is on the field that gives the attack boost.
True.
That is true.
Very true, true. It's not only... Yeah, true. It goes up to 2,100. Ash Blossom enjoys bring now, though, on the Dark Blade.
The thing is, you can ignore the attack boost from Dweller by taking it.
With what card?
With triple tactics talents?
Oh,
Does that sound familiar?
We'll have to see. Is Pasha going to do that? He's considering his options once more, going through his extra deck.
I mean, 9 minutes is basically half a Memento combo, unless you're under Dweller. then I think it's going to be a little bit faster.
Oh, we
Okay.
do have Tatsumi Shogo. That's so good. Just getting another monster onto the field. But now Manuel may be considering doing what we were thinking of, going for the Abyssalacia and then also somehow getting his hands onto the heavy infantry.
But I think that Abyssalacia only searches for a Mermail card.
Indeed.
And heavy infantry is not that.
That's true. It's an Atlantean.
The question is, can you do something with Shadow Squad? Because I think Shadow Squad is always treated as a Mermail card.
Yeah, it's like Abyss Rhine that it's an Atlantean
Yeah.
and treated as Mermail card also.
We have not even normal summoned yet, so Fabled Lurie is the normal summon of choice here, going into Fiendsmith Requiem.
Yep, you don't need the graveyard effect of Engraver to send a card from the field to the graveyard. That can be done by summoning it out with the Requiem. However, you
Then
cannot
the
choose
Requiem is not really
so
being...
never mind.
We just go Lacrima, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if that effect doesn't work anyway, so what's the point? So Lacrima sends the Engraver. Good follow-up for next turn. Another body on the field.
And to be honest here, Chaos Angel might be a very good option, since Mermail doesn't run a lot of spells,
Yeah.
and of course are way less traps. So if Chaos Angel is someone on the field, I don't know how Mermail can, get over it.
Very true. So Pasha, he definitely has to consider his extra deck here, but what is the one we are going to go for? Looks like a Link 2 to me. What would that be? Just
I think
going
it's
into
gonna
SP
be
Little Knight?
Ryziel Dual Drive.
I don't think so.
That would be a nice plot twist here. But no, we go into sequence, and of course you can fusion summon with sequence with the materials in the graveyard, because this is not an effect that is activated in the graveyard, or that you would attempt to activate in the graveyard.
Now Manuel is forced to think about that, because you do not want to have that sequence resolving on you there.
I find that quite interesting that Pasha is deciding to just keep Talons as the last surprise factor ever, instead of just either looking at the hand. Oh,
Okay, now we go.
activated. Talons is being discarded. An eye for an eye, Talons for Talons. At this point, going to search out a Mermail card. Now, are we going to see something like a Shadow Squad, or is there a card that makes more sense? I think if you're going to try and get a draw here, Abyss
Yes,
Rhine makes more
Yep.
sense.
It is the Shadow Squad.
But I mean, at this point, I think you're in a decent position. Wait, Neptabis is not an on-summon effect, so it is an ignition effect that you would have to activate on your turn. Can you somehow get an infantry pop here before the sequence resolves? Somehow, by any chance?
We're about to see. Maybe Manuel is going to show us any second, because he truly is the master
Wait.
of the Mermail deck this weekend.
Is Poseidra a quick effect?
I was also thinking about that. I'm pretty sure it is. Or is it just... I think there is something about Poseidra.
does he
Someone
play
explained
two
it to
as
me.
well?
He does play 2 Poseidra. Yeah, he does.
Oh, if this card is normal or special summon, oh wow! If he activates the Rhine, he can get the draw there, get out the Poseidra, and of course, then send infantry and bounce a card. So that is pretty strong here.
I think that is what Manuel is thinking about. But no, I think Pasha just announced the effect of sequence, though. Yeah, very much.
Maybe it also doesn't work.
All right, we do go for 1, 2. And probably 3, right? You got to go Desiree here. What else are you going to go for?
I mean, a good option for Pasha would have also been... Is this a once per turn effect? Yeah, okay, alright. It's not hard once per turn on the name, so if this card is a once per turn effect, you can't take it with Talents and activate Dweller.
Oh, we only use 2. What are we going to
Okay.
go into here? Is it
Lacrima.
just...
Aerial Eater.
Oh, haven't seen Aerial Lead in a while. This card was so popular when Jubel was the best deck, but now it is going to be used here for Memento. We're sending one to the graveyard.
Yep, and it's
Which is
going to be a
Engraver.
Fiendsmith Engraver. It's looking tough for Manuel. The time is ticking down, 4 minutes and about 20 seconds.
Pasha also has the triple Traxxas talent in his hand.
Yeah, he just refuses to use it.
Yeah, maybe we just gotta go ahead, take something eventually. Oh, maybe. Still not.
At this point, if you want to deal some damage, you gotta get into the battle phase at some point. Talents is being activated. So what is the play now? Are you going to take the Leisha? Are you going to take the Dweller? Or are you going to try and look into the hand? Because you know what's in the hand, and there is Abyss Rhine in the graveyard.
I think Pasha had plenty of time to think about it, but he has just decided on the taking, and he is going to take the Abyssalacia. I think none of those monsters are at the moment big enough to attack over Dweller, though, right?
Yeah. And I also like that he didn't negate the sequence or bounce the sequence, because you can always just bounce Desiree. There is no way of attaching something to the Desiree at this point. So, oh, what are we going to do here? Appaloosa would have been strong.
But no, we just go for Agnum
Alright.
Day. Agnum Day can technically just bring back the Engraver, and then Engraver could activate its effect, because there is then finally something being equipped to it, and there we have it in the Spell and Trap Zone, Agnum Day.
I think at which point do you use Rhine, or is it impossible to use Rhine here? Is there a reason why we haven't done it yet, or why we are we waiting for the Poseidon? Are we waiting for a big push here? Dweller is still there.
Just confirming that, just for the moment, saying, yeah, Dweller is here.
Still looking good. Actually, let me get Abyss Rhine up. Now I'm doubting everything right now.
But I think Manuel is definitely signalizing that he's thinking about things, so definitely there is something that Manuel can do, but he just is not sure on when to do it, but it has to be the Abyss Rhine here. Is now the time.
A bounce and a pop.
Still not though, no, we just go battle phase. Attacking over the Abyss Dweller, dealing the first damage of this game, number 3.
Wow.
Less than 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Pasha takes the lead.
That is absolutely huge. Is there anything that he just takes all of the damage? He just takes the damage.
He does. Okay, main phase number 2, shortly after, I would assume. Just figuring out the total damage that was dealt here. Okay, no, we go for the Abyss Rhine now. And Manuel, you see it. He's quickly moving now. He knows he has to be a little quicker. Draws a card, activates the Shadow Squad. It's getting urgent here. He needs to get things moving soon. And he sees the clock ticking down.
Did he side out the second Poseidon? Is that maybe what happened?
Going first, I don't think so.
Yeah, we see it.
Oh, wow, yes. That's
a
definitely what
prince.
happened. So he is going to summon out the Neptibus, possibly at the end of the turn. Has 1 minute and 25 seconds here to play this out, to get some damage on the field. He's going to be super uninterrupted here, unless there is a chance to make SP here as well. Or did this happen in the end phase?
So, Pasha, we definitely, I think we just go SP, banish the Prince, and then that's going to be the turn. Have we did not even activate the effect of Engraver, right? We just didn't.
No.
Yeah, okay, so that could have been a nice way of dealing with the Prince without any trouble.
All right, we're going into
Necro Equip, okay. I mean, yeah, we
right.
could have not done that if we would have gone for the effect of Engraver, of course. Linking up these two, going to the SP Little Knight finally. Little Knight effect gets rid of the Prince. We see Manuel down very heavily on life points, but it is about to be his turn. He already is picking up that one card. We have to go Turbo Mode now. Manuel knows. Can he somehow do this in 30 seconds? This would be crazy quick.
Lacrima is being activated as well. Summons out back the Agnum Day, probably. We're playing Paradise here.
Yep.
Agnum Day is just sitting there building up a bigger defense as well. SP Little Knight is going to be negated with the Infinite Impermanence. You could banish it, but you won't choose to. Putting up a dice on there as well. Don't do it. Neptibus
the second Prince?
as well.
Ooh, this could be enough. I think if there would only be more time, Manuel could easily get away with this.
Oh, the Dragoons is being sent to the graveyard. Now we're trying on. There is a Poseidon actually. So Poseidon not being used in the last turn. Shadow Squad is being searched for as well. Poseidon now activating itself. Special summoning itself out. Shadow Squad discarded. When is time being called? Tributing the Neptibus. This is getting incredibly close here. I think time should have been called by now, but we don't know if there was anything.
Is there
added
any
to it.
time extension, maybe?
Might be.
We are going to check. I have just been asked. I've been asking that. Okay, there is no time extension, meaning we can confirm that there is timeout announced now. But maybe Manuel, possibly by support from his side deck, does have an option to deal damage here or gain life points or something.
5,000
We will
damage?
be finding out. Yeah, sure. Why not? Why are you doubting him? I thought you were a Mermail enjoyer.
I mean, I really hope that he can pull through this.
Yep, there could be the craziest combo ever. I mean, he's really speeding through this now, which is, I mean, if time is called, then there is really no need to completely hurry about this. But, yeah, Manuel is considering his options there.
Did we just draw for Necro Princess there, or what happened?
Yeah, because we
Must have been,
discarded the Shadow Squad.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so very valid point to summon out the Necroquip in defense position as well. Well played by Pasha on that side. Check out the graveyard as well. Now we've slowed down the pace significantly on Manuel's side.
I mean, since time now is not an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, Manuel, show us the technology of gaining 5,000 life points here. We all want to see
that's
it.
also possible, yeah.
But I don't think it is there. He's going for his graveyard, checking his options. But there is the